So upon reading Jujutsu Kaisen, I stumbled upon something really interesting, and it has to do with Sukuna, the king of curses. Now I say king of curses because he is the literal king of curses, but also because it plays an important part in the theory itself, so keep that in mind. Now before I reveal what the ability is, his true capability as the king of curses, we first need to understand what a curse technique is and what are the existing curse techniques of Sukuna. Now, as Satoru Gojo explained, in simple terms, a curse technique is the application of cursed power. And how he represented this is using the example of electronics using the power of electricity to gain different outcomes, even though it's the same power source, but through application, you gain a different result, a different end product. But the most important part of this explanation is when he explained to Yuji that he won't be able to develop a curse technique. The ability to use curse techniques is intrinsic, so a Jujutsu sorcerer's skill set is about 80% innate talent. And then the panel refers to Yuji as having no innate talent, which means that Yuji doesn't have a cursed technique. And no, the Divergent Fist is not a cursed technique, it's literally just Yuji's cursed power lagging behind his physical prowess. So it's more of a fighting technique rather than a cursed technique in that sense. But he also explained that Yuji will be able to use Sukuna's cursed technique by way of him being Sukuna's vessel. So there are multiple ways in which you can develop curse techniques, but it's not something you can just learn. You have to be someone's vessel, or it has to be some ability that is passed down through your bloodline. So that would be something similar to the 10 Shadows ability from the Zenin clan and also the 6th Eye and Limitless ability from the Gojo clan. Now when it comes to Sukuna specifically, his only curse technique is the slashing attack. Now this can actually be divided into two separate techniques, but they're kinda a derivative of the same thing. So one technique is the dismantle that allows Sukuna to instantly slash apart his targets into small pieces. And then you have cleave that can be adjusted with curse power to cut down tougher opponents in one powerful slash. So these are his known abilities that is basically known to most of the fandom. And of course you also have domain expansion, but that's not important or relevant to this video. Now my theory is that Sukuna's ability, his actual curse technique, is to copy other cursed techniques. And there are really just two specific incidents that led me to that conclusion. The first one was in the Shibuya arc when Jogo fought Sukuna. And in this moment, Jogo dropped a huge rock the size of a block on Sukuna, and just when the rock was about to hit, Sukuna clapped his hands and teleported to the top of the rock. Now you might see this as some kind of flair or some kind of pizzazz from Sukuna because he's that type of character. But when I read the panel and Sukuna says not yet, and while he's saying this, he's holding his hands out in the motion that he's about to clap, but he says not yet twice, and he waits for the rock to get close enough while he tells the humans not to move, and as the rock is about to hit, he then claps his hands and says now and disappears. Now the reason why I say this is the ability to copy curse techniques is because this is the curse technique ability of Todo called Boogie Woogie. Now this is the ability where he claps his hands and he's able to switch places with objects and people imbued with cursed energy. Now you might be asking, like, what did Sukuna switch with? Now as I said, he's able to switch with things and objects imbued with cursed energy. Now the rock itself was imbued with cursed energy, so it would be okay to assume that he switched places with just a fragment of the rock itself, and that's how he escaped. And we also have to remember that this is the first time seeing Sukuna use this ability. The first few times Sukuna emerged, he never used this clapping ability to teleport, and this is after Todo fought Yuji. So what this is kinda implying is that he picks and chooses which abilities he wants to copy, and this happens after Yuji fights certain characters. Now the second time Sukuna used this ability to copy other techniques was in the same battle with Jogo. He used it to copy Jogo's ability to conjure flames, and when Jogo saw this, he said, "Isn't Sukuna's curse technique slicing and slashing everything?" And Sukuna said, "Don't worry, I won't cheat by revealing my cursed technique." Now you could read this in two different ways, because you know they have the ability to explain their curse technique, and that would in turn boost the power of the technique itself. Or you could read this as him saying, "I'm not going to reveal my true cursed technique." But either way, it doesn't really subtract anything from the argument itself. And it also shows in the physical representation of the curse technique itself, because when Sukuna conjured his flames, it's similar to the flower-like aspect of Jogo's flames. So I think they're kind of like implying that in some sense, and they're not outright stating it, at least not yet. And I know this ability might seem like a stretch, but if you guys have read Jujutsu Kaisen 0, and the movie is coming out soon, but if you guys read it in the manga, you'd know that Rika, who's the cursed spirit attached to Yuta, has the ability to copy the abilities of other cursed users. And she did this with Inumaki's curse technique against Geto. So it's something that did happen in the series, so there's precedent for it. But one comparison I wanted to draw, that's why I said that the King of Curses is somewhat related to the theory itself, the title itself, because Geto referred to Rika as the Queen of Curses. And that might be somewhat of a reach, I will say, but I do think that Rika being the Queen of Curses and Sukuna being the King of Curses, and them having similar abilities based on what I just explained, I think it's somewhat related. And I think that the story of Yuta and Rika is somewhat intertwined with the story of Sukuna, at least the Sukuna of the past. And I do think that will play out later on in the series, but that's just the gist of the theory itself, because he used an ability similar to Todo's ability and also an ability similar to Jogo's ability. So that's what the theory was based around. Now I might be missing something that could supplement or disprove the theory, so that's where you guys come in. So you guys can comment below, let me know what you think about the theory. If you guys have anything to add that may bolster the theory itself or might disprove it, so let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section. Drop a like if you like the video and subscribe if you're new. And I'm going to be doing Jujutsu Kaisen content going forward. This is typically like a Boruto channel. I cover Boruto and Naruto style content, but I recently read JJK and I think it's really good. So I'm going to continue making videos, explain videos, chapter reviews. So if you guys are interested in JJK content and also Boruto content, because you know we're still doing that, you guys can subscribe and we can keep this going. But yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen is a classic in the making, and I know that's a popular term or popular thing to say, but I really do believe that Jujutsu Kaisen has the potential to be one of the best shonen mangas ever. I really do think that, and it might be recency bias, but if that was the case, I would be saying that for a lot of other series that I don't think that about. So it must be the content itself that's really good. And I just like the mysterious aspect of the series and the dark themes. It's more realistic, and I love that about it. It is a little too realistic at times, because the mechanics of the universe will have you like thinking, like every chapter it's like a mind-bending like logic that you have to understand. But I enjoy it, you know, I enjoy the series. So yeah, if you guys like the video, drop a like. If you're new, subscribe, turn on notification bell to be notified when I post new content. But above all else, have a great day. Peace out.